Hey guys, Rob.Games here. Welcome to today's video, where we're diving deep into one of the biggest issues plaguing modern gaming: loot boxes and microtransactions. For decades, gaming has been a space of wonder and creativity, a medium that brought joy to millions worldwide. But in recent years, the industry has undergone a troubling shift. The rise of predatory monetization practices, like loot boxes and microtransactions, has fundamentally altered how games are designed, sold, and played. These systems, disguised as innocent additions to gameplay, have become widespread, exploiting players psychologically and financially, while degrading the overall quality of the games. Today we'll explore how these practices have evolved and why they're so problematic, and what we are as a gaming community that we can do to fight back. So grab your favourite snacks, settle in, and let's get into it. To truly grasp the scale of the problem, we need to start with some history. Microtransactions weren't always the pervasive issue they are today. Their origins can track back to the early 2000s with the rise of mobile games. These freemium, as they called games, offered free access but monetized through small optional purchases. Think of titles like Candy Crush, Farmville, Clash of Clans, all those kind of mobile games. You can spend a few dollars to speed up progress, buy in-game currency, or unlock cosmetic items. At the time, the model seemed reasonable. After all, these were free games. Players had the choice to spend or not. But what began as a mobile-specific trend quickly spread to traditional premium games. Developers realized that microtransactions were a goldmine. Instead of charging players for once $60 game, why not charge them repeatedly? This mindset gave birth to the microtransaction era. Loot boxes emerged as a natural extension of this. These randomized rewards first gained prominence in Team Fortress and also Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Players could buy keys to unlock crates, which contained mystery items. The concept exploded in popularity when Blizzard's Overwatch introduced its loot box system in 2016, setting a standard for the industry. What was once a niche mechanic became a mainstream monetization strategy. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Loot boxes are gambling. There's no other way to describe it. Players spend real money for a chance, just a chance, to get something they want. It's like pulling the lever on a slot machine, hoping for the jackpot. Here's how it works. Loot boxes used a system called variable ratio reinforcement. This is the same principle that makes slot machines and lottery tickets addictive. The anticipation of a reward, combined with randomness of the outcome, triggers a rush of dopamine in the brain. This rush creates a cycle of spending and gambling-like behavior. What makes loot boxes worse than traditional gambling is that they're embedded within the games, where they're marketed as fun and harmless. Instead of betting on sports or playing poker, you're opening colourful boxes that explode with shiny animations and cheerful sounds. It's gambling disguised as entertainment, and it's particularly dangerous for younger players. Loot boxes and microtransactions exploit human psychology in several ways. The illusion of value. Developers use scarcity to inflate the perceived value of items. Limited time offers, exclusive skins, and rare items are dangled in front of players, creating an artificial sense of urgency. Number 2, sunk cost fallacy. Players who've already spent money feel compelled to keep spending to justify the initial investment. For example, if you spent $50 chasing a rare skin, quitting now would feel like wasting that $50. And the third one, social pressure. Many games use leaderboards, rankings, visible cosmetics to create social competition. If your friends all have the rare skins or powerful items, the pressure to spend money increases. These tactics have profound effects, particularly on children and vulnerable adults. Stories of players losing thousands of dollars chasing loot box rewards are alarmingly common. Feelings of regret, frustration, and even addiction. It's all devastating. Impact on game design. The effects of microtransactions and loot boxes extend beyond individual players. They're reshaping how games are designed. Here's how. The pay-to-win mechanics. Many games are allowed players to buy advantages such as better weapons, faster progression, or exclusive perks. This destroys fair competition, alienating players who want to rely on skill, not spending. The grinding and progression system. Developers deliberately slow down progression to encourage spending. Instead of rewarding players for effort, games reward them for opening their wallets. When monetization becomes the focus, gameplay takes a backseat, while create rich, rewarding content when you can focus on selling cosmetics. And for the focus on live services. More and more games are adopting to live service model, where updates and new content are tied to monetization. This has led to an over-reliance on battle passes and seasonal events designed to keep players spending. Let's talk about what this means for us, the players. First, the financial strain. What starts as a few harmless purchases can quickly spiral out of control for some players, especially younger ones. Loot boxes and microtransactions create significant financial burdens. The loss of enjoyment. Games no longer feel like a fair challenge. Instead, they feel like a business transaction. Players are frustrated by systems that prioritize profit over fun. The burnout. The constant grind to unlock rewards or keep up with the battle passes creates fatigue. Gaming, once a joyful escape, starts to feel like a second job. And the exploitation of children. Children are particularly susceptible to these systems. Often don't understand the value of money. Many parents have been blindsided by massive credit card bills from kids spending on in-game purchases. The rise of loot boxes and microtransactions have given us plenty of examples of how far companies are willing to go for profit. Let's dive deeper into some of the infamous cases that have left players outraged. Counter-Strike Global Offensive brought loot boxes into the spotlight with its weapon skins. Players could purchase keys to open crates, with rare skins sometimes selling for thousands of dollars. And this system became so profitable that third-party gambling sites emerged, allowing players to wager skins in online games of chance. The controversy surrounding CSGO loot boxes led to multiple lawsuits and forced Valve to tighten its policies. However, the game's monetization remains a hot topic, with critics arguing that it has fueled gambling addiction among younger players. Another game, FIFA. EA's FIFA franchise has been a cash cow thanks to its Ultimate Team mode. Players assemble teams by acquiring cards, which can be earned through gameplay or by purchasing loot boxes. These packs offer randomized players with odds so low that acquiring a top tier squad often requires spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get them. Critics have labelled this system as gambling, particularly since FIFA is marketed heavily to younger audiences. Some lawsuits and regulatory actions have targeted this practice, with courts in Belgium ruling that FIFA packs constitute as gambling. As loot boxes and microtransactions gained notoriety, governments worldwide began to take notice. While gaming industry initially tried to downplay the issue, the public pressure forced lawmakers to step in. In Belgium and Netherlands, 2018, Belgium declared loot boxes illegal, classifying them as gambling. The ruling prompted companies like EA to remove loot boxes from games sold in Belgium. The Netherlands followed suit with similar regulations. In 2020, the UK's House of Lords recommended that loot boxes be classified as gambling under the country's Gambling Act. Although the US has yet to introduce federal regulations, individual states have proposed bills targeting loot boxes, citing their potential harm to children. Facing increasing scrutiny, some gaming companies have attempted to self-regulate, disclosing odds. After pressure from governments and players, some companies began revealing the odds of loot boxes. While this is a step forward, critics still argue it's insufficient. Cosmetic-only loot boxes. Some developers like Blizzard with Overwatch 2 shifted to systems where loot boxes only cosmetic items. However, this doesn't address the underlying gambling mechanic. Players have also played a significant role in challenging exploitative practices. Boycotts. Organised boycotts have successfully pressured companies to remove or alter predatory monetization systems. Review bombing. Players have taken to platforms like Steam to leave negative reviews and mass forcing companies to address their grievances. Social media campaigns, outrage on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, TikTok have amplified the issue, bringing mainstream attention to gaming's monetization crisis. As awareness of these practices grows, players are becoming more discerning. Indie developers who often reject exploitative monetizations are gaining popularity. Games like Hollow Knight and Celeste show that games can succeed without microtransactions. So, a path forward into fixing the broken system. Number 1, supporting ethical games. The power lies with us as consumers. By supporting games that respect players, avoid exploitative monetization, we can send a clear message to the industry. Indie games in particular often prioritize creativity, player and satisfaction over the profits. Refusing to support predatory practices. Simply put, don't buy into exploitative systems, avoid spending the money on loot boxes, battle passes and pay-to-win mechanics, and vote with your wallets. Advocating for regulation. Gamers can play a role in pushing for stronger regulations. Writing to lawmakers, sign petitions, and supporting groups can help build momentum for legal action against loot boxes and gambling mechanics. Developers must be held accountable for their monetization practices. Players should demand clear, upfront information about what they're buying. If a game includes gambling-like mechanics, it should be labelled accordingly. It's crucial to educate younger players about the dangers of loot boxes and microtransactions. Parents, teachers, and gamers must work together to teach financial literacy and critical thinking about these systems. The rise of the subscription services, like Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, offers a glimpse of alternative model. These services provide access to a library of games without the aggressive monetization, creating a win-win for players and developers. And finally, the industry must embrace innovation. Developers and publishers need to explore new ways to monetize games ethically. From crowdfunding to one-time payments for substantial DLCs, there are countless alternatives to exploitative microtransactions. So in conclusion, loot boxes and microtransactions are killing gaming, but it doesn't have to stay this way. With collective action, informed choices, and a demand for change, we can steer the industry toward a brighter future. So what do you think? Are loot boxes, microtransactions a necessary evil, or can we eliminate them entirely? Let's discuss in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to keep the conversation going, so that together we can make gaming better. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy gaming, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.